think that like although the radio stations differ so much between what we have in Australia and what they have over here in America. For example, obviously the college radio scene over here is massive, and we certainly don't have that. But I think the community radio stations that we have in Australia are extremely supportive of Australian music in general. But certainly 4ZZZ in Brisbane have been extremely supportive of us, and as have like a lot of the other
Branko's great.
radio stations. And even when I was approaching them with the idea of Resound, their support towards WA was so massive. And so we rely on them. I mean, Triple J is an amazing radio station. We're going to put your voice out there and all that sort of thing, 100%. But I think a lot of the time, community radio stations get overlooked, and they shouldn't, because the amount of work that they do and the amount of research they do.
The professionalism of for a level where there is really no expectation, the work and commitment that they put in is astounding.
Absolutely. In exactly the same way that Australian independent labels work and Australian independent record stores work. It's just a matter of going out there and making it happen for yourself and doing your research and learning about Australian music. Because it is so valuable.
It's good as well that all the cities now, all the major cities, seem to have a supportive either one or two community radio stations that tie everything together, like 4ZZZ in Brisbane or Triple R in Melbourne,
RTR in Perth.
Edge Radio in Hobart as well.
FBI to SER.
Yep.
I mean, it's impressive that we can have a list that long.
Yep.
Totally. A long name.
It'd be interesting to see at CMJ, because it's based so much on what we've just been talking about, how much you could learn while you're there. How many people you should meet, I guess, to try and get your music out.
It's really interesting because we did the college radio mail out, and we got spun on like 150 stations. And what I ended up doing was just phoning up one of them the other day and saying, would we be able to do an interview, please? And they just went, yeah, sure, no problem. So which is really great, just that open door policy for us at least that they have.
And because you never know where that stuff leads as well.
No, of course, yeah. And you shouldn't neglect it, just constantly going, higher and higher. The communities, I think the radio is where it really happens, personally.
I know, you've done a couple of these sorts of showcase dealies before. What do you reckon, what's good advice to sort of leave an impact with people?
I just remember the first one we did was in the middle of the day. It was literally 12 o'clock. We got up an hour beforehand, and there was 14 people in the room. Half of them were just looking at their iPhones, and then they walked out. But the next one was awesome, and so I don't know. In between that and that, expect that.
They were all blogging about it while you were playing.
I don't know. They're writing something down. I don't really care.
It's not much really you can do. I mean, if they happen to be at the room and they happen to like your stuff and they happen to come up and talk to you, then great. If not, man, I mean, at least you're still doing shows in New York. There's still, so much that can come from that, down the line. There's not really any advice. It's just a regular show, really.
It always, to me at least, it always feels like there's these sort of networking business tricks that you should be doing after a gig.
I think that's the illusion, though. I think it's people get so bogged down in the idea of what can I do to maximize my resume, when ultimately what you're doing is doing what you do, and if what you do sucks, then there's not really much you can do about that, is there?
There's a t-shirt in that.
It feels, I guess it's like an insecurity when you play in these sorts of things in particular more than regular gigs.
You want to get the most out of it.
Yeah, and it's
so far to do it.
Did I do it all right and all that sort of stuff?
It does feel strange, having the whole crowd knowing that they're taking apart every part of your set as well and analysing it.
Yeah.
When it is taken, rather than just having a rip of people